I feel like I should start this off with a little bit of a disclaimer. I can only really speak for Denver-based radio stations. I certainly have a bone to pick with the radio here. I'm only really going to focus on classic rock stations because that's mostly what I listen to. But I feel like the Denver stations, they definitely have a problem and it needs to be fixed. So whether you're driving in your car and going to work or the store or whatever, or you're taking a long road trip, maybe you're driving across country, you're more than likely going to be listening to a podcast or having the music library play on your phone. But I still listen to radio, and maybe that makes me old school and old-fashioned, but before streaming, I really enjoy listening to the radio. I still do, despite all the problems. So for me, and I think many generations before me, getting in your car and listening to the radio, it was a joy. It was a fun experience. It was a great activity. The major problem that these Denver radio stations make, and these classic rock ones specifically, they believe that the only thing people want to hear are the hits. And that's not true. People, and it's my personal belief that people want variety. Everybody loves hits, right? Popular music is of course popular for a reason. I love the hits as much as the next guy. It is not the only thing that I want to hear. I want to hear a wide range of songs, and I'm guessing a lot of other people do. But these stations out here, they make that mistake, and this is of course an exaggeration, but it feels like they play the same 10 songs all day, every day. I could hear a song in the morning, I'll probably hear it again a few hours later. That should never happen. So I'm not saying don't play the hits. When I say variety, I mean that if I play a song, say on a Monday, I shouldn't hear it again until, say, the following Monday. And when I hear that song again that I heard the previous week, it should feel fresh. I should be excited to hear it again. I shouldn't be thinking to myself, they just played this song like 2 hours ago. And you can have as much variety as you want. You could create a playlist that would play out and could take a whole month to get through. My other gripe with the radio is it could be such a great tool for educating people about music that they would have never heard about. Educate people about the old era of rock and roll, where so many of these other bands are getting their influence and their inspiration from. And the reason I say all this is because I think it's important to keep these genres alive for newer generations. Much in the way that a lot of these bands, like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, when they were first getting started, they kind of introduced or reintroduced a lot of people to the blues, and people then became a fan of the blues. But sadly, not many people know about it, at least I don't think that they do. You need to reintroduce this music. You can't keep it in the dark. I could go on and on and on about this, but it's my belief that those two things, play variety, which is a lot easier than you think, and reintroduce people. We need to bring back the fun to listening to the radio. Despite streaming, despite everything moving away from the radio, I want that option again. I don't want to say, forget all this, I'm going to turn off the radio, I'd rather sit in silence. We need to bring that back. Whether we're just driving down the street to go to the store, or if we're driving 500 miles away from one coast to the other. And welcome to the end of the video. Real quickly, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for watching. But one thing I forgot to mention was you also don't need the constant interruption in between virtually every song, or it seems to me like it's at best after every couple of songs. You can do it after every time you come back from commercial break. We know what station we're listening to.